Pankaj really tricked me into this evening. I was supposed to be one of the participants, but then he put me on the stage somehow. So I am thankful to him. But I didn't know that he was looking for a personal answer through all this gimmicks of a seminar. Because even after the first session, he said, they have not answered my question, why should we go to school? He didn't feel the need to go to school as an adolescent, and still he is without answer. So I don't know whether at the end of the day, he will feel frustrated that he didn't get the answer for his question. Madam started with a quotation. Somebody sent me immediately, somebody sent me a WhatsApp message. Incredible India. When a rape accused is not arrested, we burn candles and march. When a rape accused is arrested, we burn the city. I think that's a tragedy of what has happened in Haryana. And we still don't have answers. Politicians are still wrangling among themselves, which is a better party, who has done better and who did not do well. All those are going on, but so many lives have lost. 36 lives, I think, gone, 37. And yet the Chief Minister said, "Kuch nuksan hua hai, kuch nuksan hua hai." Make up karega. How do you make up 37 lives? How do you make up everything? So I think it's a very important thing that we have to ask ourselves. These are the end products of all the schools that have produced all these people. And the topic that I am going to talk about, already Professor Shukla touched upon it, the school climate. I believe the school climate has got much to do. When we ask, does schools matter? Professor also mentioned some type of schools don't matter. No matter whatever we are doing, it doesn't matter to some people, definitely, because schools don't respond to what we need. And I think that's very, very important to realize that a school, in order to render the services for which it has been established, it must have a culture. It must have an environment where this thing takes place. We know the end result of a school is supposed to be intellectual formation, aesthetic formation, socio-political formation, and spiritual formation, of which just now we heard. So I think all these aspects have to be taken care of in a school situation. So we need to see all these dimensions, whether these are catered to in our schools, whether we develop the person intellectually, whether we produce aesthetically wonderful people. Aesthetics also means lots of things in that. And socio-politically, are we creating them to be better citizens of tomorrow? And finally, as a spiritual aspiration, are we really giving that dimension also proper emphasis in our schools? So what do I mean by a good, well-educated student? I would call the end result should be, we want to mold a contented, a happy person. First of all, a contented person, contented with himself or herself, contented with the society, contented with everything. That is a happy person. I think that should be the end result. I think our neighbor, little country called Bhutan, he has given a new definition of GDP, happiness quotient. Happiness quotient is very important in the human nature. So are we keeping our happiness as an end product of our educational system? So compassionate, we are speaking about compassionate human beings, to be able to understand, sympathize, and to feel with the others and all that, compassionate. And contributing to society, contributing to the family, contributing to others, and committed to serve society. So in other words, these are some of the end product of a school system that we expect a school system should produce: a contented,
compassionate and contributing, committed individual for our future society. School culture, what does it depend on? School culture depends on norms, values, beliefs, rituals, ceremonies, symbols, and stories that make up the persona of the school. Every school has got a persona. I think you go from school to school, you will find different persona in every school. One of the ways when I educated myself is whenever I go to a town or a city, I always ask which are the leading schools. I'll just go there, I don't ask any questions, I simply observe the school. Sit down there and just watch. What's the environment in that school? What's the culture in that school? What is the way that the educational process is carried forward? It has been much better education for me than many of the seminars that I have attended. So I think school climate or culture is very important to make a school relevant. Now, school climate can be, what I would say, some schools have got toxic climate. Toxic climate. Others will have positive climate. What do I mean by toxic climate? Toxic, you know what toxic is. It injures us. Toxic environment. And what are these? Blames the child for everything. A blaming atmosphere. You know very well what happens, you know. Let's say at home we have a problem. The teacher has got a problem at home, comes back and gives the problem to the children or the headmaster or headmistress. We carry on passing the buck. And so it can be a blaming situation. The climate is a climate of pointing the fingers all the time. So it cannot be a positive climate, it's a toxic climate. Discourages collaboration. There is competition, cutthroat competition. I want little more mark than that fellow. Half a mark more is enough. Parents are competing, children are competing, everybody is competing. I had once one situation where the driver was very happy, the driver of a particular person, because his son did better than his boss's son. So they are competing, the two are competing. They are competing, and the driver was putting up his collar and walking around because his son has done very well. So you see, so much of competition. Instead of, I think it was mentioned, this 21st century skill is, what is the skill needed? Collaboration and teamwork. How do we generate collaboration and teamwork in a school that is filled with competition? I remember when I came to Don Bosco in 2000, first thing that I took away was ranking. No rank in the school. Instead, only all those who got, let's say, 90% and above, all will be awarded. There is no first, second and third. Some parents were very unhappy because their children, they could not say, I am the first. They could not say, I am the second. They could not say, I am the third. And so one day, for example, one parent came to me. Her son had done very well. Previous test, he had got 80%. This time he had got 85%. But he was second in the class. Before he got 80%, he was first in the class. She is unhappy. I said, Madam, your son has done much better. He has got 85% this time. Nothing doing. They are not happy. Because we are living in a competitive world, cutthroat competition. A climate of competition is necessary maybe sometimes, but it is injurious to young children. Especially very small young children, it is very injurious to them to have this competition. Then breeds, there is this kind of this kind of climate, there is a lot of competition among teachers also. Teachers are competing against each other. They are competing at each other. They are disparaging another. Oh, that she doesn't know social studies. He doesn't know maths. He doesn't know this. He doesn't know that. This competition also goes down to the classroom. And the children know it already, as somebody already mentioned here. Teachers know each other, who is the teacher, who likes this and that teacher and things like that. There is a lot of competition going on among teachers. Then, school remains just giving information. Information is not knowledge, and knowledge is not wisdom. We need to percolate from information to knowledge, from knowledge to wisdom. That's a long process, but most of us only engaged in giving information. Information is not needed anymore. We have got the internet, we have a computer, we can get all that information on our fingertips. So we don't need school for information. Information giving is not necessary anymore because all that is available to the children, and sometimes children are more informed than the teacher himself or herself. So I think it's not needed at all. Then this negative type of schools, they demand conformity and uniformity. It has been researched and it has been found out that KG children, measured on creativity, they have got, let's say, 80%. They are 80%, they are creative. By the time they finish class 6, already they have come down 50%, or they have gone to class 10, they have no more creativity. That means school kills creativity because we are only looking for conformity, we are looking for uniformity. So I think it's very, very important that if you want to change the climate of the school, we cannot look for conformity, we cannot look for uniformity. We may have a uniform. A uniform is meant to make everybody looking alike, and there will be no competition in all the best dresses and all that. So it may be good, but we should not reduce schools to just produce uniformity and conformity. Then positive climate. What would I mean by positive climate? Positive climate celebrates success. Success of every child. Success even in little things. And it celebrates individuality and difference. And I think that's very, very important now, especially with the multiple intelligence, understanding of our intelligence, not just IQ only. So many ways children are endowed. So many ways children are gifted. We need to identify those individual gifts that the children have and give them the possibility of reaching the highest in that area. It may be, they may be good for football. Give them football. Give them basketball. Give them football. Give them maybe, some may be good for maths, some may be good for music, some may be good for dramatics. The school need to nurture talent. We need to approach the child from his or her strengths. Not just, if you ask, let's say, fish to climb trees, they will forever be a failure. But if you ask them to swim in the water, they will definitely be much better than anything else. So you cannot ask for the wrong things for the children. If they are not endowed for one thing, we should not insist that they have to all pass the same way. Somebody has mentioned maybe, mathematics. Some are not doing mathematics after class 10. I think today in the specialized era, we need not pursue all the subjects. It's not absolutely necessary for a human being today. So we need to identify what's the best for that child and give that child that ambience to grow. Now, a good environment produces profound learning. Not just this ordinary superficial learning. Profound learning means the child goes beyond this little information technology, information, just collecting information. It needs to be deeper understanding of the subject and assimilating knowledge at a deeper level. So these are the types of a climate that we need to introduce in a school if you want to create an environment that will make the children grow. Some people have called bad names for the schools. Some say this is a warehouse. School is a warehouse. Some others have said it's a factory. Some others have said it's a prison. Some others have said it's a professional service delivering some services to people. Now, what type of definition do we have for the school? A school will be defined by the climate we create in the school. If you create a climate that is positive, that encourages growth, that encourages children to obtain their maximum potential in the field that they have chosen, then I think we will still be relevant in spite of the many handicaps that we have mentioned. As already he has suggested, we are questioning everything today. We are questioning marriage, we are questioning family, we are questioning everything we are questioning, including schools also. But if the schools, as I mentioned, if it creates a positive environment, it will still be relevant and it will produce the character ethics that she was speaking about, our Professor Vora was speaking about, work character as well as moral character. And then we will find individuals. Schools are not meant for, preparing them for work. As I think that also we must take out of our mind, because no, in 20 years time or 10 years time, what can we guess for a work? What work will be there? There will be no work that we can prepare the child for. Earlier, British prepared us for clerk's job. The clerk's job was there carrying on and on and on, and that is why when Rajiv Gandhi introduced this computer education, there was such a hue and cry, especially from the left parties, because they thought entirely the country was going to have no employment at all. Now, if India got a name abroad, it is because of computer. When I was studying in the States, anybody getting any problem with the computer, they said, sir, can you just fix up this one? I said, India may be good for computer, but I am not one good for computer. See, but earlier than that, when I went to abroad, they always looked down, these Indians, what are these Indians for? Indians were looked down upon. Nowadays, we are held rather high, because we are in many fields, we have come up. So, I think it's very, very important we are not preparing them for employment. You teach them how to learn, they will learn for themselves. And today, knowledge must become lifelong learning. So this is a skill that we have to teach. You teach them how to learn, they will carry on learning. And they have to continue to learn, because they will be outdated by the time they go out of the school. All the knowledge that they are collected in the school will be irrelevant, because knowledge have doubled up in 2 years' time. So I think it is no point in preparing them for future. Prepare them for the present, let them enjoy the present, let them enjoy themselves. What I often say is, goal of education is to make a man or a woman fully alive. Fully alive. As a whole person, not just here, I don't know, engineer or this one, that one. The whole person must be vibrant, must live, and so be alive. So if you can create an environment in a school where children are fully alive. I know, for example, sometime in Don Bosco, when children get sick, they are still crying to come to school, because they enjoyed school. And parents were finding it difficult to keep them in the house. So they were bringing them to school even with the fever on, and we'll keep them in the infirmary, but still they are happy, they are in the school. So I think that happy atmosphere must be there. Happiness is a quest that all of us look for. We are looking for happiness. Any one of us looking for sadness? Nobody. All are looking for happiness. So let our children enjoy school. Let our children, and I think just now they played the video here. What were those children doing? They're saying they are happy in the school. They want to come to school. They want not maybe for the classes. They want to enjoy the company of one another. They want to enjoy the company of the teachers. And the teachers also. There should be no gap between the children and the teachers. They should be available. They should be everywhere. They should enjoy the company of young people, young children. And many of the teachers really remain young because they are all the time mixing with the little children. So I think it's very, very important to make school a happy place. If children like to come to school, they will not drop out of school. They will learn something and they will make a happiness for themselves. Let them find happiness today, tomorrow they will find it elsewhere. Let them do what they are expected to do today well, they will do everything tomorrow also well. Thank you.